This is Volusia Today, a public information radio program brought to you by the County of Volusia.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Volusia Today, your one and only trusted source for Volusia County government information. I'm your host today, Clayton Jackson, and joining me today is my co-host, Maggie Hessler. How's it going, Maggie?
Good, how are you?
I am doing great, and like we were talking about, it's been about a month since you've been on the show.
No, it's been so long, I feel kind of nervous.
It's welcome. Hey,
and now the nerves are back.
Hey, you're on social media enough, doing the reels and everything, so you're used to the airtime.
I'm used to talking in front of people and doing, but this is like a whole different body. Every time I do it, the nerves kind of come up, and then I get confident. And then
right, and one of the videos we were actually talking about in our staff meeting yesterday. Is some Halloween thing or something going on. It was actually well done. Bravo on that.
Thank you.
But for our listeners out there haven't had a chance to check out our social media about that video, tell them what's going on.
Yeah, so DeBerry Hall is having a creepy candlelight tour.
Creepy candlelight, and
it is creepy. Let me tell you. They kind of gave me a preview of the tour and what it's gonna look like, and I was a little scared. I was like, I don't think I can come, but. It's going to be super fun. It's tonight at 7:15, and then they have another one at 9, and tomorrow at the same time, so 7:15 and 9 o'clock. It's $10 to go. You can call them, make reservations, but they're super awesome over there. They put on a great show for everybody, and it'll be fun. If you're looking for something to do for Halloween, I highly recommend.
All right, now I've got a 4 and a 10-year-old. Do you think that's something that they could handle?
Not this one.
No, okay.
So too young. Yeah, it's for kids 12 and up. So as long as you're above the age of 12, you can bring your kids. Kids are welcome at normal DeBerry Hall tours, but for Creepy Candlelight, keep those little ones at home.
Okay, that's good to know. Yeah. We're still a few weeks out from Hurricane Milton. Our community is still going through recovery efforts. And just want to remind our residents out there who Milton impacted that FEMA assistance is available. Disasterassistance.gov. You can apply through the FEMA mobile app, and there's also a toll-free 800 number that people can call to find out information. Also, I did see about a day or two ago that the Florida Department of Children and Families, they just made their announcement that DSNAP, which is the Disaster Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, it's going to be available to Volusia County residents in the coming weeks. We're going to be helping to promote that program. Hopefully today we can get something out, maybe first thing next week. But in a nutshell, is essentially for residents in Volusia County who are not already receiving food assistance from the regular SNAP program to apply for benefits. That way they could replenish some food because again, people, they lost power. And they had a freezer, they had a refrigerator. So I've heard of people that we work with saying like, yeah, their power's out and the generator couldn't keep up, and it they lost a lot of food. So this is another good program that is going on. Also, our Public Works Department, they're still doing debris pickup for our residents in unincorporated areas of the county, as well as those who live on county maintained roads. So just a reminder that if you do have debris, make sure it's separated. Make sure you have your vegetative debris, your tree trunks, your limbs, all that in one area. If you do have like fences or any, it's called C&D, construction and demo, make sure that's in a separate pile. And then there's another one, they call it white debris, which is essentially like a washing machine or refrigerator. If you did get water in your home and those were damaged, that you make sure all those are separated, because not just the county, but the cities, they're doing a lot of debris pickup too as well. And it's we continue to stress this message that if a debris contractor goes by your property and you've got a bunch of tree limbs and stuff mixed in, covering a refrigerator or mixed in with your fence post, they're going to go on to the next property. If you still have debris at your house, but you have the ability, a trailer, truck, whatever, the county is actually operating three drop-off sites. We actually are just getting ready to announce another one today, but we have the Tomoka landfill, we have the old Plymouth landfill in DeLand. The Tomoka landfill is over in Port Orange, and then actually we're going to be announcing that there's another one that's going to be opening in Edgewater at 1990 Air Park road, and that is a joint effort with the city of Edgewater. And just to let everybody know that the debris drop-off sites, not pickup, but the drop-off sites are open to any Volusia County resident. So when you go, make sure you have your driver's license or some form of identification that you are a Volusia County resident. All right, so that's kind of the updates for today. So I guess people are tired of hearing from me and Maggie. Well, mostly me. Sorry, Maggie.
No, we're all good.
So we do have a special guest with us today, Angela Miedema.
Yeah.
Miedema. I got it right. There we
First one around.
Yeah. So, well, you did kind of prep me for the show. So I've
okay.
got full disclosure, transparency. So she's our animal services director. And Angela, how are you doing today?
I'm doing very well today. Like you said, it's been post-storm. My first storm with the county, first serious storm, I should say. We've had a couple tropicals and smaller things, but feeling pretty good today now that we're, a little bit over a week out and everything.
Awesome. So before we get into the beef of the show of, what is animal services, what does it do, maybe dispel some common myths, and obviously provide some safe animal practices, give us a little bit update of what your division did during Hurricane Milton.
So during Hurricane Milton, we become FEMA responders. We actually staff all the pet-friendly shelters with our animal control team and pretty much all of our staff, so including our vet techs, our administrative team, everything that's familiar with handling animals. So anywhere that there's a pet-friendly shelter, we staff it, and we try to provide resources for anybody that's displaced during the storm especially. So if they were in such an emergency that they couldn't bring a crate or that they couldn't bring food or some bowls, we try to bring just a small amount of those for anybody that had to leave in an emergency. But other than that, we're just there to keep people and their pets safe during the storm. Leading up to the storm, we try to provide as much education as possible. Just reminders to have your identification on your pet, have pet records sealed in a waterproof bag, bring a crate with you if you're planning on going to a shelter. Even if you have a cat, that's one of the things that we saw more often than not was a lot of people have a carrier for a cat, but they don't have a crate because they're not thinking about the amount of space that cat is going to need to move maybe for a couple days and have a litter box with them as well. So thinking about those things for a longer term stay, but we try to educate as much as possible, go around the community, make sure there's no animals tied up or anything, and just make sure that everybody has what they need.
Wow, that's interesting. It's funny you say that about a cat. I never thought of that a cat needs more room. I had a cat growing up and all we had was a carrier, and I never would have thought about the fact for a storm you probably need more space for your animal because they need to be able to move around and litter box and things like that. How many of those did you see?
I probably over 50.
Oh my gosh.
So quite a few that were, because your regular veterinary visits, you're only having a carrier for your cat especially, but you don't think about the fact that it's going to have to live with a litter box, so you have to put some bowls in there. It's going to be possibly a couple days, or at least we ask you to prepare for a couple days. And so we usually saw bowls being brought and things like that, but we didn't see a lot of crates for cats specifically.
Let me ask you this. Hopefully we don't have another storm this year or next year or the year after. But
knock on wood. I
guess when we're putting out news releases, everything, we're saying pet friendly. I guess in everybody's mind, we're thinking dogs and cats.
Yeah.
Are our pet friendly shelters limited to those?
So we usually say dogs and cats, but there's some people that'll bring reptiles, and usually say, you just need to bring everything for that animal. If you're staying at the fairgrounds, you have a 10 by 10 space. If you have a couple aquariums and you want to bring your bearded dragon or something like that, then hopefully you have like a little portable electrical thing for your heat lamp. So we do allow other things. If you want to bring a bird cage and have what's needed for that.
So I couldn't just walk in with my pet iguana on a leash and say, I'm
no,
walking around with it.
Not quite. And mostly I say for the safety of that animal, because there's so many dogs and cats nearby, we have to think about how they interact with others. Especially for our birds who get very stressed very quick.
Birds. I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, you have your parakeets and, your lovebirds and things like that. And so I usually ask for like a cover for that cage. Just thinking about how because they're going to be exposed to a lot of other animals that are very intrigued with them as well.
Wow.
I'm just trying to imagine somebody walking in with a parrot on their shoulder. It's like,
I'm
hey,
imagining like Britney Spears style. I saw her walking in like, hey.
And you know
my
that
gosh.
is a very interesting smell that a lot of those animals are
Oh,
going to be like,
yeah.
I really want to go up to that animal and see and interact with it.
Now, how do you keep them like apart? Like dogs, for example, like they need to go outside, use the restroom. Like, how do you do that and facilitate all of those interactions?
So at the fairgrounds, it's a little different. At the fairgrounds, they get a 10 by 10 square. They stay with their family. So we say you're there to monitor your animal throughout the entire time. In our schools, they usually stay in the locker rooms, and we have an ACO, animal control officer, if you're not familiar. But we have them monitoring all those animals, and they're usually in crates. So they're in crates or carriers, and then we permit the owner to take them out for potty breaks, come check on them whenever you would like, for the entire duration of the time that you're staying there. Just to see if they're doing okay, provide them some love and care, and honestly, they provide some emotional support to the people as well during that time. But it's heavily dependent on our animal control officers during that time to make sure everybody's appropriately distanced away, and we try to keep dogs to one area, cats to another, and then anything else, we just assess what the need is.
All right.
Wow.
All right. So with that, we're going to take a quick break and stay with us for more Volusia Today.
We are Volusia County Beach Safety. We're here to serve Volusia County's 47 miles of unique coastline. You know, Volusia County beaches. Yeah, those beaches. But also these beaches. We have millions of visitors every year, and we work around the clock to keep our beaches safe and beautiful. And you can help.
Swim near a staff lifeguard tower.
Pick up your trash and fill holes. Identify, avoid, and escape rip currents.
Please leave the beach cleaner than you found it.
There we go. Look out for one another and keep an eye on kids, especially near the traffic lane and in the water. Pets are allowed at our 2 pet-friendly beaches, Lighthouse Point Park and Smyrna Dunes Park.
If you see something, say something.
A clean and safe beach guarantees fun in the sun for everyone. Thank you for doing your part to keep Volusia County beaches beautiful. See you at the beach!
Make the most of your day at the beach. Download the Volusia County Beaches app today. Sign up for real-time notifications on vehicle ramp openings and closings. Find staffed lifeguard towers. Get updates on tides and beach conditions, plus off-beach parking and coastal parks info. Volusia County Beaches app is available for your smart devices at the App Store and Google Play.
Good morning and welcome back to Volusia Today. We are here this morning with Angela Miedema, our Animal Services Director. Angela, you've been here for over a year now. It's kind of funny. I was thinking this morning, I think you were one of the first interviews I did on the radio. But how are you liking it so far? How are you enjoying Volusia County?
I think I remember that first interview.
Yeah, I was really nervous.
I think I was too, because we both began just around then, at least you in your position. It's going really well. I think I've learned so much in a year, but one of the big things about Volusia County is that I feel like the people are extremely supportive. They're all willing to help and step in wherever you need it and wherever you need to understand. And the team's been super supportive too. So I feel like it comes down to that, just to make sure that you're successful. And I'm really happy that I got to join this team because they've definitely made me successful.
And I have to stop you there because you're new to Volusia County. Yeah. I can remember somebody I was talking to at the ELC, and I made it, like, well, I hope nobody's out there surfing right now or anything like that. And somebody said, well, I bet Angela, she's probably going to hit the waves up at some point. And I'm like, what? Is our animal services? Did I hear that right? Or were they talking about somebody else?
No, they're talking about me.
You're a surfer.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't do it well. But I will definitely be out there on the weekends surfing. Wow. So, and usually I'll say, like, good thing beach safety also falls into our department because I know they're there to keep me safe whenever I'm crashing. But no, I absolutely love it.
So I hope you always surf near a staff lifeguard tower.
I can't say that it's always that way, but I try. I try my best.
Yes, do as I say, not as I do.
Yes. But no, I mean, I grew up on the water, even in Michigan, and so oddly enough, you wouldn't think that Michigan would have surfing and things like that, but people don't realize the waves.
You
that
guys
can
surf
be.
there?
You can surf
I
there.
thought y'all
Longboard.
No,
wow.
So you mean you're pulled by a boat?
No, you can absolutely. On Lake Michigan, you can absolutely, especially near the winter in a full wetsuit, you can.
In the cold?
Yes.
Oh no.
Yes, in the cold.
No.
Oh, we needed a whole show on surfing in Michigan
Surfing in
40-degree
Michigan.
water.
But no,
my
I grew up
gosh.
on the water there. I grew up in boats and things like that, and so I'm just I'm a lover of being on the water, being on the beach.
Wow. I'm speechless for a second.
So I think I started wakeboarding when I was 8.
Wow.
So definitely a water-oriented type person.
That is, wow. I'm impressed. I learned something new about you, I think, every time I talk to you.
Single time.
Angela, what? But that is so cool. And kind of on the same tangent there, when I first started, like, animal services, I learned so much crazy things I didn't know that animal services did, the things that they don't do, like, the things that I had preconceived notions about. What is the number one thing that you guys get that's a preconceived notion about animal services and you want to, let's just dispel it right here, right now.
I think it's 2 things. Unfortunately, they're probably tied. Number one, they think that we run a shelter or that we run an animal shelter in the community, but really we partner with animal shelters, partner with nonprofit animal shelters in the community, actually 4 of them. And the other one is that we're just dog catchers. So typically when you see us, people get very nervous. They think we're there to take their dog. And really we're just trying to make sure that everybody's doing okay and the animals are being taken care of.
So you are kind of same, like jurisdictional wise, as like our Volusia County Fire Rescue. You know, we have the county, but then also there are some of our municipal partners that also have animal services divisions. So it kind of tells like how you all work with the cities, like their animal services divisions.
Yeah, so we do all of unincorporated Volusia. There are some cities that we still cover. So Pearson contracts us. Edgewater will sometimes, they have one ACO, but they'll contract us if there's anything beyond their needs. A lot of these cities usually have 1, maybe 2 ACOs. So we do have the largest agency when it comes to animal control officers. But we have interlocal agreements so that if there's ever a case that's beyond what their one animal control officer can handle, they can call us. They could call us on scene. We can come and assist them to get them through that case.
So just kind of just like fire rescue, like you know, there could be a fire in Orange City. They need support. Volusia County Fire Rescue comes in. Same thing with animal services. So like you just said.
Yeah, I think a great example of that is I think it's been 3, maybe 4 years now, probably 3 years. The Daytona 42. So it was a case of dogfighting ring in the city of Daytona Beach. And Daytona Beach contacted us because it was 42 dogs, and that's a significant amount of animals for only 2 animal control officers to handle. And it's a very serious case. And so typically our animal control officers have a very high level amount of training, certifications, background in animal crimes, investigations, and crime scene processing as it pertains to animals. So we could be called out there to help them through that, and we help them with that case.
That's interesting. And there's another side to that, too, with cross-collaboration, like beyond just animal services. You guys will collaborate with fire rescue, all sorts of public protection officers. Tell me a little bit about that. How does that work?
Yeah, so we try to, actually we spoke at code enforcement conference not that long ago, but just same as like fire rescue, code enforcement, LEO, so law enforcement organizations and for officers. We try to promote animal safety on scene. They're usually going and responding in very serious situations. They get in there very quickly. Unfortunately, sometimes there's a victim to some situation and they want to go help them, but there's an animal that's possibly providing a barrier to that and is posing a safety risk for that first responder. So we want to teach them how to properly handle that animal while keeping themselves safe. So, and that's especially pertinent as it comes to like hurricane responses and things like that, where the animals are very frightened. And so we don't want any of our, first responders to become injured or anything. But if they can't call us out there quickly enough, we want them to have some base level of understanding of what to do around an animal on scene.
Yeah, that's so interesting. It's funny you say that. My dog is not like people. I'll just put that in the world. And I never even thought about the fact of like, if something ever happened to me or James and someone had to come into our home, Kappa would not be having it. Not be having it. And
I couldn't go up and pet him?
I don't think anybody can go up and pet Kappa. Kappa's like, this is my home.
Who's this bald guy with glasses in my home?
And the last thing we need is for the first responder who's trying to come help you to have a barrier to doing that. So we really have to train them and how they could kind of put that animal in a safe place, not provide any harm to the animal, but also not get hurt themselves.
Yeah. Do you have any like specific tips that you give them to be like, hey, this is how you handle this animal?
Yeah. So typically, awareness of animal behavior is one. I was a behaviorist at Orange County for a couple of years, and I have my professional dog training certification. So it's a really good understanding of what are the signs of that animal escalating in aggression, and evaluating it at whole body scale, but using materials around you I've even said like using a trash can, providing some sort of in between. Sometimes a chair to shoo them into a bathroom and then closing the door might be beneficial until we can get on that scene. And of course, our animal control officers are always available to assist our fire departments, our first responders in general, to make sure the scene is safe so that they can go properly assess somebody or something.
Wow,
So I think she needs to go and work with Kappa.
Honestly, we've had all. Kappa might be a lost cause.
We might need a couple seconds.
Love Kappa. He loves us. I feel like I should put in the world. Kappa loves me and James and our families, but he's not.
He might be a little protective.
Yeah, he's a little protective.
That's in a lot of our animals, especially like our German Shepherds, our guardian breeds, things like that. It's just in them. But we still want to make sure that they're socialized well enough that if you needed help could come to you.
Yeah.
So before we take our last break, tell us about the mobile clinic, the big animal services bus that people see going through town.
Oh, you can't miss it.
It's so cool.
What is it?
Yeah, so it's a mobile veterinary clinic. Now, it does offer limited services, I would say. So we have been doing low-cost vaccine clinics around the county for about the last year. We've been very successful with those. So we're actually doing one upcoming in Deltona this coming Monday. It's at Dewey Boster. Is that how you pronounce it?
That's how I would say it.
Dewey Boster Park, 1200 Saxon Boulevard in Deltona. And that's 8 a.m. until 12 p.m. But we have a veterinarian there doing low-cost vaccines for cats and dogs. They're $10 each, but it's a way for us to provide accessibility to veterinary services to the community that might not be able to bring their animals all the way to the clinic themselves or afford going into a regular veterinary clinic.
But other than vaccines, there's something else that they're going to be doing there.
Yes, they do. So they do microchips. And
how much are they?
Microchips are actually free still.
Say that again.
They're free.
All right, that's why I just want to get that out there.
And that's because we get so many stray animals and we really want to get them back to you. A collar will probably fall off in the case of a dog getting it stuck on something, but a microchip lasts forever. So it's just that free. Even if they get it as a puppy, they're going to have it at 10 years old.
More effective than a collar?
It is so much more effective. And it won't get stuck on anything if they get loose, God forbid. But it won't get stuck on a fence. It won't get stuck in anything that impedes that animal's movement.
And maybe it's years about us on to say for our dog's microchip, Charlie, golden retriever. But say for example, we moved.
Yeah.
Is there something we need to contact somebody or somebody to update? Because what if we move to Michigan to go surfing in 30-degree water? And
I would never do that. So I don't think.
I will tell you.
And Charlie gets loose while we live in Michigan, and Animal Services up there finds Charlie.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, well, this person was in Port Orange, Florida, so they're going to ship my dog to Florida.
Yep. So the way you could prevent that is contacting the microchip company and just letting them know, keep it up to date. A lot of people have a login, so we always have an email go straight to them after they get their pet microchipped. We register for people at the event, but if they do move, then they would contact the microchip company themselves. If you forgot about it, you could go to any veterinary clinic and they could scan the dog and tell you what that company is.
Phone number, anything like that they need to update?
There's a universal pet microchip lookup, and all you put in Google is universal pet microchip lookup, put your number in there, and it'll tell you the exact information of your pet microchip.
Nice.
Oh, that's awesome.
That's good information. All right, we're going to take our last commercial break, everyone. Stay with us for more Volusia Today.
Subscribe to the Volusia County YouTube channel.
And hit the bell icon to know what's happening in your hometown.
There are so many great places to explore.
And things to learn.
With over 1,000 videos available right now, the channel offers something for everyone.
Let's go!
Did you know we have countless features showcasing history, nature, wildlife, and recreation? Subscribe and hit the bell icon.
Or that we live stream important county meetings and workshops where leaders make decisions that can impact our everyday lives. Did you subscribe yet?
Or that we record our weekly radio show, Volusia Today, where we interview staff from the different divisions and departments across our great county, and they discuss the nitty-gritty of their field and expertise.
Go ahead, subscribe.
But that's not it. There's more. Subscribe and hit the bell icon and fully explore.
Score!
Good morning. Happy Friday. Welcome back to Volusia Today. We're here this morning with Angela Miedema, our Animal Services Director, and we've been talking all things animal services. But Angela, you have some recent exciting news. You're recently elected to the National Animal Control Association Board. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, so I'm super excited. There's a Florida Animal Control Association board, but then there's a national level. And recently I was very proudly elected to be on the national board. And they kind of set the standards actually for the nation as it pertains to animal control officers.
Nice.
Yeah, so they set standards for what it means to be an animal control officer, what certifications we think are pertinent. And we basically help with networking and providing education, especially in areas where maybe an agency, like some of our city agencies where there's only one animal control officer. Where do you get your training from? How do you keep up to date, with the latest changes? And NACA, as it's familiarized with, National Animal Control Association, helps with that. So we're just setting standards as it pertains to what it means to be an animal control officer.
So not just the state of Florida represented, but Volusia County.
Yeah,
that is awesome.
And then, so the national one, everybody in the United States.
That is awesome.
How many people are on this board?
I think it's 9 people in total.
Wow, that's a huge congratulations.
Yeah,
Yes.
thank you.
Awesome.
Thank you.
That's, I mean,
so, and
you
it's
say
elected
board,
by
but
members.
not-
Yeah. So it's elected by the members of across the nation. They all voted on it, and I was very lucky to be a part of it.
Congratulations.
Awesome. Congratulations.
Awesome.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, so for our animal lovers out there listening right now, there could be some volunteer opportunities for you through our animal services division. So quick rundown, what's going on with that?
So I always say, if you're looking to volunteer walking dogs and things like that, that's more of our animal shelters. That's more of our contracted partners. If you're looking to go do that and go to adoption events and things like that, we will always share who those partners are if you're looking for that. But if you're looking to volunteer with us, it's probably in our clinic. So probably in our veterinary clinic, you have to be kind of okay with, some grossness. You have to be okay with doing laundry, instruments, cleaning. And then we also have events. So if you're good with being a spokesperson, if you're good with, maybe walking in a dog parade in DeLand coming up in the spring, if you're good with passing out water, things like that, and just being a good spokesperson on behalf of animals in the community, then we definitely accept you for a volunteer with us.
That is amazing. So while Michael is out, I'm going to ask her to say his closing and ask, do you have anything fun going on this weekend?
This weekend? No. Unfortunately, I don't have anything this weekend. I'm just preparing for Deltona on Monday. I'm just super excited to see how many people. I heard Jeremiah's Ice is going to be there. So I heard we were going to have some vendors.
All right. So with that, everyone, have a great weekend and do not go surfing in 30-degree weather in Michigan.